What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back. Uh, Two guys in a trailer. That's two guys in a trailer. There is our Instagram handle up under there because I actually put in some work for the show this week. Not quite enough.
Yeah, I was about to say.
I kind of dropped the ball on one of the main parts of the show, and I didn't have enough time to watch both of the movies. So, we're gonna knock out the. I did watch a couple of spoilers, a couple of different trailers, a couple of scenes from the movie. So I've got a pretty good idea of what's going on, but I'm not privy to all the jokes and the inside stuff and this, that, and the other. So, why don't you tell us a little bit about it, Stephen, and give us what your thoughts on it were.
Okay, so the movie he's talking about that he didn't get a chance to watch was the Jojo Rabbit. So, a little bit of back brief on it. It's directed by Taika Waititi, and he's the guy that directed Thor Ragnarok, which I thought was a great fucking movie.
And he's a Hawaiian dude that played Hitler in the movie.
Yeah, he also, not only did he directed it, he starred in it as Hitler, which...
Imaginary Hitler.
Yeah, imaginary Hitler, which is hilarious. It also has Sam Rockwell in it. Scarlett Johansson kind of is in it. Stephen Merchant. And then the main kid's name is Roman Griffin Davis. This kid is 12 years old now, so I'm assuming during filming he was around 10 or 11. This dude's a phenomenal, kid actor. Just a phenomenal actor.
We talking Macaulay Culkin, fantastic actor, or...
I mean, he's better than Macaulay Culkin. This kid, it was to me, that was an Oscar-worthy performance from the kid. He was phenomenal.
Mighty bold statement.
I stand by it. Budget was $14 million, and at the box office, it made $86.4 million. So, an overall success. Basically, the plot is sort of this kid it's set in Nazi Germany, right? And this kid, but it's towards the end of the war, and Germany's losing. And so a lot of the people around this kid are becoming disaffected, but the kid is super into it. He's got his imaginary friend is Hitler, and in his mind, Hitler is the coolest person ever. They go on adventures together and all this shit. And then he comes to find out that his mom, Scarlett Johansson, is a part of this resistance movement against the Nazis. And she's actually hiding a Jewish girl in their house, without his knowledge. Well, he finds out about it, and that's kind of where the movie kicks in, is that he starts battling with the preconceived notions that he has against Jews, just because
of the propaganda machine,
right? In his mind, you know what I'm saying? In his mind, things were one way, and then when he actually meets reality, it kind of forces him to question everything. And so it's a really good movie. It's definitely, you can tell I wouldn't say it's aimed towards kids at all, but it is more of a family film. I think it's a movie that you're meant to watch with your kids and then maybe have a discussion about. It's kind of one of those type of movies.
Yeah, I hate movies like that.
I usually do too. I really do. Mostly because I don't have kids.
Yeah, well, and I see it from a parent's perspective where it's now I have to answer 647 questions to a kid that has no idea what I'm talking about. Because they see Hitler as this goofy, happy-go-lucky guy, and they're like, well, why was Hitler so bad? Well, I don't know. He tried to exterminate an entire religion of people. There's that.
He definitely got a couple things wrong. I think you could say that at least.
A couple things is a mild understatement.
Maybe about 6 million.
Yeah, exactly.
About 6 million things wrong.
Yeah.
But the thing I really like about this movie is that it was a fucking ballsy movie to make. Right? For the director to be Hitler in a movie, even if it's imaginary Hitler, with the way that today's, and not getting into it, but with the way today's political correctness type stuff is, that guy could have been fucking canceled, and he had to know that.
Oh yeah.
Like if it didn't go over well and it wasn't well received, he's done.
Oh yeah, for good.
Like, yeah, he's fucking done. Marvel would fucking kick him. They'd drop him. Like,
but you got to admit, man, he went for it.
Yeah, he did, and that's what I'm saying. I mean, it was a ballsy fucking move on his part, and it's just a really good movie. It's funny. I mean, but it's not like I wouldn't call it a comedy. Like, I really wouldn't. It has some funny elements to it. Like, there's a scene where Stephen Merchant is playing like a Gestapo officer, and they're doing random house checks, and there's like 5 or 6 Gestapo officers, and they knock on the door. The kid answers, and Stephen Merchant is like, Sieg Heil or whatever, and then the kid is like Sieg Heil, and then each Gestapo officer goes through the whole Sieg Heil motion. Then they go inside, and then the kid says something, and he's like, "Oh yeah, Sieg Heil," and then they all do it again, and it's just poking fun at how fucking ridiculous this shit was.
Yeah,
and it's hilarious. Like, so it's got some really good moments in it, some really funny moments, and it also has some really sad shit in it. So it's a pretty damn good movie. I know you didn't watch it. I would probably rate this movie.
I'm going to. So this is one we're gonna come back to. I'm gonna put down a tentative score.
Okay.
That is subject to change next week.
I'd give it probably a 4.
Okay.
It's a really good movie.
So it's got a 4 right now as it sits because I haven't watched it. But I will say this, the trailer, if I had to rate the trailer, I'd give the trailer a 4 because it was solid. It was solid. It showed some pretty funny shit. Like, as soon as I saw the trailer, I was like, hey, this could be pretty good. So, all right, well, a solid 4 for a movie that only one of us has seen. I don't think that's too bad.
Dude, that's still better than Velocipaster.
All right. Well, you heard it here first. It's better than Velocipaster.
Dude, I took a shit earlier that was better than Velocipaster.
Okay. Well, I didn't know we were going that direction with the show, but whatever. It is what it is, I suppose. Highbrow. Yeah. So, all right. Well, there you go. We'll give that one a 4 to be changed next week. I will make a redactment. Or an adjustment, as it were, to the thing. Now, Green Room. I did get a chance to watch this one.
Okay.
I watched it twice just to make sure my initial suspicions were correct, and watching it the second time only solidified my position on this movie.
Okay.
So let me give you what. Okay, you want to hear what I liked about the movie or what I didn't like about the movie first?
Let's go through what you liked about the movie first.
All right,
soften the blow.
What I liked about the movie was
maybe we should go through what you didn't like about the movie first.
Yeah, there's a lot more of those.
Wow.
Okay. So, all right. I've been a musician pretty much my whole life, right? I've played in several bands live, and I can understand the struggle of a band playing a fucking Mexican restaurant and getting paid $25, right? Been there, played shows that didn't pay shit, spent $100 in gas and gear to get to a show that pays $20, right?
Yeah.
I understand that. And that is a very real thing for aspiring acts. But with that being said, I also played in bands, which means I can't hear shit. Right? You ask Brittany, every time we watch someone on TV, she's like, it is so fucking loud. And I'm like, I can't even understand what they're saying. Like, I can't hear what they're saying.
If I don't have it up all the way, I'm having to put subtitles on.
Exactly. So it's like somebody was sitting in the editing room and was like, yeah, that's a little bit too loud. Yeah, that's a little bit too loud. And just pulled that fader all the way back to where it's like, Heavy, you'll never hear that. It's perfect for everybody else. So, number one, a lot of the conversation was done at below, at regular conversation tone, but it was too low for me to hear, even with the TV jack. Number two, this was trying to be a scary movie that wasn't scary at all. Right? Because, okay, the cardinal sin in a horror movie, to me, is never give the betas the fucking power. And they literally had them locked in a room with a dude with a gun and told the dude with the gun, give them the gun. Because that movie could have ended very quickly. Boom, boom. He's behind the door. And boom, boom, boom. Got him. Now let's just walk out of here. Or run out of here. Or get to our goddamn van. Or they could have dug the floorboards up, got down there and been like, yo, it's a fucking heroin operation. Let's just smash this shit and make them come after it. Okay, it didn't do what it needed to do. Right? The gore in this movie when he sticks the gun out the door and they like start cutting his arm and shit, like even that wasn't gore because you saw it for a half a second where they tried to cut his arm off and then they wrapped it up in a towel. Right? The girl with the fucking knife stuck in the side of her head. There was no fucking blood. So you mean to tell me you stabbed this girl in the head with a stiletto blade? It's stuck in her head. She's laying on the floor. And there's no blood. That's not right. Like, it doesn't work like that. Life doesn't work like that. You cannot take a fucking box cutter and just run it up somebody's stomach and open them up like a zipper. It doesn't work like that. To get through that layer of fat, you have to fucking work at it. So it tried to be a scary movie. It wasn't scary. It tried to be a drama, I guess maybe a thriller.
That's what I would classify it as.
It wasn't thrilling. It wasn't thrilling. There was like this. Okay, I'm going to be really hard on this movie, and look, cut straight to the chase. I'm giving it a 2.
Damn,
I thought it was trash, dude. Like I will literally never watch that movie again.
Well, I disagree. I really disagree. I think this is a really good movie. As far as your critiques about like the gun, right?
Yeah.
They gave him the gun. Well, they did give him the gun, but the dude kept the bullets. So they couldn't have shot him. Like they were giving him the gun. Basically, the entire point of that situation was that Patrick Stewart wanted to defuse the situation, make them feel like they had the upper hand, get them to unlock the door, think that they're walking out, and then stage the vehicle accident down the road that has them all wiped out, dead, and they're not responsible. That was the whole point of that, right? That was the whole point of that setup. Patrick Stewart wanted them dead.
That was the whole point of the movie.
Yeah, Patrick Stewart wanted them dead, but he did not want it in any way to link them with responsibility.
Okay, so
because you got to think a fucking Nazi bar is probably already on the cops' radar, right? Like,
I get it. But so here's the thing: how does Leatherface, right? Leatherface. Same kind of situation. He's faced with a van full of teenagers. How does he handle it? How does he remove responsibility? He fucking kills them. You kill them all, clean the shit up, Get them the fuck out of there, right? That's how shit is handled, even in the real world, right? Real world says some 4 people come into my fucking house, barricade themselves in a room. I'm going to kick the door in and shoot them, and then I'll deal with cleaning it up later.
Right, but that I think the whole point was that he didn't want. How do you explain bullet holes in a vehicle accident?
You don't.
That was his plan.
Okay,
that was his plan.
Then that's a stupid fucking plan.
Well, I don't know if you're in that situation. Let's say you're somebody like a fucking leader in a Nazi group.
Okay,
probably already have 3 strikes on your record.
Okay, probably more than that, but
probably more than that. Okay, and some people come into your establishment. They witness something they weren't supposed to see that could incorporate you into it, right, as the owner.
Yeah. So at that point, you have one. You only have one course of action: kill them all.
Right.
You're not above that because you're literally in the office handing out red laces. You know what red laces on combat boots means?
Yeah.
That you've drawn blood for the movement. So you've got guys out here with laces in their boots that prove they're ready to draw blood. So you send 4 of them in there, you kill the motherfuckers, you roll their bodies up in fucking garbage bags and pull them through the fucking shop. Like, what's the problem? How is that?
But they've also then got this. But this isn't just a group of random kids. This is a group of kids that was sent there by another guy that lives somewhere away, right?
Okay.
So they show up at this bar and then fucking disappear. Eventually, the cops are going to find the guy that sent them to that bar for the show, and then that's going to lead them to that bar. And then, well, the trail stops here. Where the fuck are they?
Yeah.
They're going to start digging around, asking questions. And even if they can't pin the murders on them, there's going to be something there, like the giant fucking heroin operation that they had underneath the floor.
I get it.
So, in his mind,
he's not really a fucking mastermind, though. He's a fucking dumbass.
Well, I don't think he's meant to be a fucking mastermind. I think he's a dude that's in charge of a movement that is trying to figure out a way to handle it. And in his mind, the best way is to, obviously, they need to be killed. They need to be get rid of.
Here's the thing. Okay, so you kill the fucking band, right? You look over at the guy that sent them, the guy who's the Mohawk dude's cousin or brother or whatever the fuck he is, friend, and you say, you get on the phone with him and say, hey, where's this fucking band you were supposed to send to us? Then that means when the cops do find the guy, they go over and say, I don't know, he called me, said they didn't show up. And when the cops come here, he say, I don't know, he never showed up.
I mean, but you do have about 100 witnesses in the bar, and not all of those are a part of the movement.
Not necessarily, because then you do exactly like they said and was like, hey, show's canceled. Sorry, guys, we'll put it back on tomorrow night. They're having technical difficulties or whatever. And,
yeah, but they had already played.
And no, I'm talking about the other people.
The band that he's trying to kill played before.
I know that.
So the people are going to say, like,
if you're in a fucking Nazi bar, that means you're a sympathizer.
Right, but it doesn't mean
and
you're
you say, hey,
group.
We saw.
It doesn't mean you're a part of his group.
That's true.
Right? So if the cops come snooping around, there's a very good possibility that one of those witnesses said, oh, yeah, they were there.
Okay, so then
because they don't think anything of it. They're not thinking that they were fucking murdered backstage and then the bodies were hidden. It's you got to think about it, man. When you watch these murder mysteries where like they solve the murder, what is it? It's always the dumbest fucking shit that gets the people caught. It's like, oh yeah, he was wearing a fucking polo with a blue collar and went in a fucking Walmart and there's video security footage and you can like it's stupid shit. So if you have a witness that's in a different fucking state, you have a bar of a potential 100 witnesses, you can't just make 6 people disappear. It has to look like an accident. I mean, this isn't Hillary Clinton. This is just some random Nazi dude. He doesn't have that kind of power. He doesn't have that kind of pull.
Hold up.
And even she makes it look like an accident.
First of all, they're vagrants, so you can make them disappear, right? You can. It's just the plan that he had was fucking stupid.
Well, I mean, it would have worked if they gave them the gun, which is what they were gonna do. Like the only reason that their plan didn't work is because the other chick that wasn't a part of the band, which that's a whole nother thing. Does she have anyone that knows where she's at? Does she have anyone that can tie her back to that bar?
So here's what you do. Here's what you do. You kill them all, chop up the bodies, you dispose of the bodies. You get somebody that's a sympathizer for the movement, get one of them guys with the red laces to drive the fucking van to God knows where, torch the motherfucker. Then they don't have bodies, but they found a vehicle, and then you can say, yeah, they played their set, they jumped in their fucking van, got their money, and hauled ass. We don't know what happened to them. And then
there's still going to be questions. You're still going to have officers poking around.
Yeah, but
okay, well, we need to take a look inside the bar. Okay, yeah, just if you could, don't go downstairs.
Yeah, but there was no go downstairs. That the only access to that room was either through the fucking floor, which they knocked open, or through that tube that went to the outside.
Right, but I mean, if they're doing a search of the premises, they're going to find something.
I doubt it. I don't. Not if your cleaning crew's good enough.
Not
if your cleaning crew's good enough.
Yeah, but they're going to need fucking time.
But it's all isolated.
In his mind, he's thinking these are like a bunch of 20-year-old kids.
Who's going to notice them gone, and how long is it going to take them to realize that they're missing? And that's what I'm saying. It's not like you go in there, all this shit happens, and then you're at the point where everybody is in the room, and you've got the big dude with the gun on the band, and you're like, okay, from that point, he does the smartest thing he did all film is cancel the rest of the show and get everybody the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
Right? So starting from that point, everybody gets the fuck out of there. When they know there's nobody other than the people who support whatever his movement is, right? That's not going to tell on him. You go in there, you rack off a couple of rounds. Well, we got 6 people, so you yak 6 people. Boom, 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 boom. Then it's all isolated in one fucking room that you can go in and repaint or sand the floor or, throw another party the next night and fuck the whole room up or whatever. And then when the cops come poking around, nothing is amiss. It's not like they go in there and go boom, 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 and the cops are outside waiting on them. The cops had already been there because of the fucking stabbing that they sent one of their own people to jail for.
Yeah. I don't know. There has to be a movie.
Yeah, but it's fucking stupid. This movie should not exist. There's literally no reason for it.
Oh, I disagree. These are a bunch of 20-year-old kids. Patrick Stewart's saying, all right, if I make these kids think they have the upper hand, clearly I can get them to come out of that room and we can take care of this. And we can make it look like it's an accident. They fucking died. It's a fucking win-win and we don't have to worry about shit. And that is exactly what is going to happen until the bitch sees the red laces from underneath the door, which was dumb on their part to be standing there. That's a whole different thing. But she sees the red laces and she says, oh, no, they're trying to kill us. And then that's when he tries to yank his arm back and he gets it chopped off and his fucking hand is hanging off by a thread. So his plan was going to work.
No, it wasn't.
It was. They were going to give up the gun. They have no leverage then. At that point, once you know the gun is gone, you can fucking break down the door if you need to. Like, they're done.
Yeah.
So that was his whole point. Give me the gun, and if I can get you to come outside, that's easier. Or if not, once I have the gun, I can still break down this fucking door.
Dude.
And then have all of you killed and fucking take the van down wherever and y'all are dead.
You have a room full of beta cuck fucking pussy people. There's one dude in there that could maybe handle himself, and that's the guy that furthermore, right? If I'm doing security and you expect me to let you grab me in a fucking armbar, just like, all right, come on, give me your fucking arm. Okay, here you go, chief. Fuck you, man. No. Anybody's working that has ever worked security in their life will tell you, you find out who the threat is, you take that motherfucker out first. So that dude that had me in a fucking armbar earlier, I'm going to fuck him to pieces. And then the rest of them's going to follow suit. I could have handled that entire fucking movie from inside that room. I'm sorry, period. I'm not giving you the fucking gun. The only way I'm going to give you this gun is one bullet at a fucking time. Because I'm telling you, when you start shooting motherfuckers in the head, the rest of them are going to rethink what they are talking about.
Yeah, but it's not like he just gave him the gun. He was ordered by the guy.
I don't give a good goddamn. Sorry, Chief. I got a better plan. Let me handle this right quick.
Yeah, but
boom. Anybody else? Anybody else? It does work like that.
This guy has probably killed people for this dude. They're going to tell him what the fuck he's done for this dude. So he's in the fucking movement. He's for the cause.
Exactly.
The leader of that group tells him to do something. He is going to do it.
But that is exactly why he should have shot everybody in that fucking room and then started cutting the goddamn bodies up and opened the door and been like, yo, we need to fix this now. They already had one dead body that they had to get rid of. Okay? So if you already have one dead body, what's the difference between 1 and 6?
5.
Nothing. Essentially, it's nothing.
I think this is one of those movies that you don't like because you are too, what's the word I'm looking for?
No, because it's fucking stupid. Why would you put them in a van and roll them down the hill and let them die in a plane crash? Do you think they wasn't going to find out that a goddamn dog bit their head off? Like, if by your logic, bullet holes don't occur in car wrecks, neither do dog bites on the fucking neck.
Yeah, but if you fucking set them in a fucking, like a vehicle accident where the car catches on fire and shit, burns up the bodies and stuff, that'll disfigure that. It's not going to disfigure a fucking bullet hole to the point where you can't tell that they were shot. That's the whole reason he didn't want him shot. He didn't care about him being cut up. He didn't care about him being chewed up.
After the first,
be burnt up.
After the first one gets shot, literally 3 of them come out and they start boom, 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 boom. They start shooting them up. So, like, after you've already shot one of them, that whole plan goes out the fucking window. Because then not only do you have to stage the death of 5 people, now you have to also stage the death of another person that you just shot in the face with a 12 gauge. You see what I'm saying? How does that accidentally happen in nature?
I don't know.
What was he, bear hunting and he shot himself in the face? I know what it is. He went quail hunting with Dick Cheney. That's what happened. That's what happened.
Probably.
Yeah.
I like this movie.
Dude, this
movie
it made zero fucking sense, and I couldn't hear a goddamn thing. So,
well,
it's lucky it's getting a 2.
I like it because I'm a big fan of, like,
Nazis?
No, claustrophobic thrillers. Like, there was a movie back in the day called Phone Booth.
With Colin Farrell?
I love that movie. I love those type of movies where everything is, like, super confined because it gives you a really good sense of where everything's at. And it kind of, I don't know, it makes it more claustrophobic, I guess. So I like that.
That was a good movie.
This movie, for the vast majority of it, takes place inside of a single room, which I like.
Or at most on a single complex that's like a bar.
Which I think it's really cool. It's hard to pull a movie off like that. I liked the
well, it's kind of like some of the Saw movies.
Yeah.
It
does have some pretty fucking good gore in it. Like when the dog attacks.
And that's literally the only reason it's getting a 2, because there was a girl stabbed in the head, even though it didn't look like she was stabbed in the head. It looked like she was laying on top of a knife. It had a dude get his arm cut off, almost cut off. It had the dude that got shot in the face, like point blank range with a sawed off 12 gauge. That was pretty good because he's standing there talking and all of a sudden, whoop, his face is fucking gone. The dog attacks were really good. So, like, that's literally the only reason it's getting a 2.
And also, the guy that they shoot with a shotgun, I just remembered, wasn't one of their crew. That was the guy that was leaving the Nazis.
Yeah.
They found out. So that's why the girl died. Like, they were leaving together. that guy and that girl were leaving together. And so I think it's probably easier for them to disappear one of their own than it is to disappear some strangers that they don't know what ties they have. So I think they just fuck him, kill him. Like, so they're not really worried about getting rid of the girl or the dude. Like, those are two of their own. They can disappear those two. They know the ties they have. They know the ties they don't have. Right.
Well, here's the moral. Here's the moral of that entire story. Right. That entire movie. The moral of that movie is when you walk out of a room, put this in your fucking pocket. Because if the girl, because it's always a woman's fault, if the girl had not went back to get her phone out of that fucking room, because, oh, I left my fucking phone sitting on the couch. All right, dumbass. Well, you're the cause of the problem. I would have said, hey, it's her phone. Fucking kill her. I'm gone. Give me $500. I'm on to the next place.
Jesus. So, I can't believe you hate this movie. I get it. Like it's you're more of like a logical.
I don't hate it. I just don't like it. I don't think it was. I literally
it was trash.
I literally think it deserves a 2.
Yeah, I disagree. I'd probably give this movie like a 3.5 to a 4. I'd want to get like a 3.75, but we don't do 3.75s, so I guess I'd round it up to a 4. If you like, it's not a classic like horror movie. It's because there's no, I mean, there's elements of like tension. It's a thriller, is what I would say. It's a contained thriller, and it's fucking good. Like it's entertaining. It's not boring.
It's actually not
well made. The cinematography is really well done.
And see,
well acted
throughout the entire movie. I'm sitting there going, okay, Steven's going to really like this movie because it's kind of dark and it's shot very well. Like, I understand all of that. I get that, right?
Yeah.
But that is so low on my list of priorities. Like,
yeah, I'm a huge fan of like cinematography. I like a movie that looks good. Yeah. This movie looks really good. Yeah, you can nitpick it and say, or I mean, you really don't have to nitpick. There are things in the story that don't make sense. I can see that. Like, but I don't think it makes as little sense as you're saying. But I do concede that there are things in the movie that don't add up. Well, like, I'll grant you that.
Here's the thing.
I don't think
without being in that situation ever in my life, it just seems like it would be much easier to deal with 6 dead bodies than 6 people offering resistance.
Right.
Because the people offering resistance have smashed holes in the wall. They've dug up the floorboard. They found your fucking heroin operation. 6 dead bodies are just going to leave bloodstains on the floor.
Yeah.
Like, that's it.
But if you really think about it, man, there are like 99% of movies that could be resolved if they just killed them. But like, then you don't have a movie. When you're watching a movie, especially in this genre, you have to like realize that they can't just take the most immediate solution, right? Like, there's plenty of movies where it's like, if this happens, the whole movie doesn't happen. And yeah, this may make more sense, but then you don't have a movie. Like, there's plenty of movies like that.
Yeah, that's fair. But
you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, you have to kind of account for that. So
I just thought like, it was
Knives Out.
Stupid,
Knives Out. Fucking Knives Out. Okay. He notices the blood on that girl's shoe the minute that he sees her.
Yeah.
Immediately, that girl should have been arrested and interrogated. Immediately. But if they did that, there's no fucking movie.
Okay. Here's the difference, though, right? He saw the blood on her shoe and realized from talking to her without jumping in and saying, oh, she's got blood on her shoe. Let's test that. Let's see whose that is. And then we'll put all this to rest, right? He went through the kind of gumshoe investigation to figure out how that blood got there, because he realized this girl was the main. She was what he needed, right? She was his caregiver. She spent more time with him than anybody else in the family. She knew him better than his own children knew him, right? A caregiver, is not going to be a flight risk.
I mean, who's got the last person that's seen with him, the one that spends the most time with him, she's with him alone. When he goes to talk to her for the first time, she has blood on her shoe.
Yeah.
Put that in the real world. Mm-hmm. That girl's getting interrogated.
Absolutely. Right off the
100 times out of 100.
Yeah.
But in this one, she becomes co-lead on the investigation.
Hang on.
And you have to suspend that disbelief to say, hey.
No, you actually don't. No, you actually don't. You actually don't. Because the two actual police officers who had the authority to immediately arrest and interrogate didn't notice what he noticed, and he never said anything to him.
Agreed, but I'm saying in the real world,
in that movie, he's a private investigator, so he doesn't answer to them.
I understand that, so you can get through it with that loophole. But I'm saying in the real world, if you had a detective, that noticed that, because they're not Daniel Craig and they don't have a script and they don't know what's going to happen. They say, "Okay, caregiver, last one seen with him. They were alone. She's got blood on her shoe. We need to talk to this bitch." Like that's where that would happen in the real world. Or in Joker, where the cops are convinced that this dude's a fucking killer, or at least something is going on with him. They talk to him 3 times, and he never gets brought in for questioning. Because if he does get brought in for questioning, there's no fucking movie. That's my point, is like every movie requires some suspicion of disbelief. And if you don't have that, then it's like, 90% of movies can be resolved in a much cleaner, more efficient way that's within 10 or 15 minutes. Yeah. There's always a point where something happens and you're like, okay, that's what had to happen for this movie to continue to exist. So this movie is maybe too reliant on that, I guess. But at the same time, I can totally buy that there's a couple of 20-year-old kids. The guy's like, these people pose no fucking threat to us whatsoever. I have 100 fucking Nazis ready to kill at my disposal. Let's see if we can get them out of there, make them feel like they have the upper hand, get them to drop their guard, come out and take care of them. Where it doesn't tie back to us in any way whatsoever.
So here's what I want to know. How are you going to pull off, right? You get them into the, let's say everything goes exactly the way he wants it to, right? Exactly the way he wants it to. They say, okay, here's the deal. We'll keep our mouth shut. Y'all let us get the fuck out of here. It's game over. And he agrees to it. And he lets them out of the room. They get in the van. Then what?
Well, I don't think they're ever going to make it to the van.
Okay, so how are they going to kill them and then put them in the van and then cause it to look like an accident?
Dude, he's got how many people outside ready to go with machetes and bats?
Yeah, but what?
They walk outside. As soon as they walk out of that door, they come behind him, knock him out with a fucking bat, throw him in the van, drive it down, torch the motherfucker.
Okay, so you don't think that hitting somebody in the back of the skull would kind of leave fractures? And
I mean, if you stage it to look like a car accident, you're going to have fractures, skull fractures, and all that shit. There's ways to set it up. I'm just saying, I think that's what his intention was, rather than we're going to kill all these
But also,
kids.
If it went exactly as he planned, the movie wouldn't fucking exist.
Exactly.
The only way
But that, again, that's every movie. That's every movie. There has to be something that is attempting to be done, and then there's the protagonist that is going against that thing. And at some point, it requires a suspension of disbelief on both sides. Some require more. This one requires more, but I think it's done really fucking
because
well.
It doesn't make any sense to a person who lives his life by the mantra of be nice, be polite, but have a plan to kill everyone you meet.
Yeah. But I mean,
like me personally, I would have just burned the fucking barn down with them inside of it. I would have said, hey, Nazis, get down in there, get all the fucking heroin out, burn this bitch to the ground, and then rebuild.
But like, there's every movie requires that, is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Like, every good movie that you have that's not based on like a historical thing, like Fight Club. In that whole movie, what Martha never calls him fucking Tyler. when they're together and he's Edward Norton. Like she never says his name. Really?
Oh, so you
nobody ever says Tyler when he's not Tyler Durden. That's a reveal that happens 6 months later.
So
Come
you
on.
have to. So you have to believe that somebody has multiple personalities and has psychopathic tendencies. That's not really hard to believe.
No, I'm saying you have to believe that nobody in the course of that movie says his name so that the twist works for you, the viewer. You go back and watch it, nobody ever says his fucking name. He goes to work, he goes to, never says his name. That's a suspension of disbelief. You're telling me over the course of however long that movie is set, nobody says this fucker's name so that it can be revealed later and it's a twist? Every movie has that. Every movie has something. Because if it doesn't, then you know exactly where the movie's going.
This one it just doesn't do it for me, man. Well, it doesn't do it for me. Because I'm watching it the whole time and I'm like, why are you doing that? What is the fucking point of this?
No, that's fair. I mean, I get it. It's just we disagree on this one.
I mean, it's a huge fat solid 2 for me, man.
Yeah, and I'd give it a 4. But
and the only reason I give it a 2 is because it is shot very well, and the acting in the movie is very well done.
Yeah,
right. Even though I think in post edit they could have like bumped up the volume a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a really good question in chat that I wanted to see what you thought about real quick.
Okay.
It says, it's Robbie Nix. He says, so I got a question for both you guys. If there was a movie that could be redone again, which movie would it be and why? That's a really good question.
Well, we had one the other day that I said could be fit for a reboot. What was it? 28 Days Later.
Yeah, 28 Days Later.
I think 28 Days Later with a good director and somebody who's going to shoot it on, I don't know, a 4K fucking camera.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, just shoot it on a goddamn iPhone 11. Those things have really good cameras.
Yeah.
Yeah. If they want to borrow it, they can use my Canon over there. It shoots in 4K. So yeah, I think 28 Days Later would do really good with a reboot.
I think 28 Days Later is a good one. I'm usually not a fan of remakes.
Yeah.
Like I'm not. Something like 28 Days Later where it could benefit from the upgrades in technology and 100%. But for me, most part, I would say I really don't like reboots. Another movie that we did a review of that I think could do a reboot would probably be Gremlins.
Gremlins. I was just about to say Gremlins, dude.
I think if you remade Gremlins, you could make that movie so badass.
Oh,
and it would like an even darker version of it, you know?
But here's the thing. I don't think you could remake Gremlins now and get away with some of the shit that they did back then.
Mm-mm.
I think that was a snapshot of history, you know.
Especially a fucking PG rating.
Yeah, smoking cigarettes in a fucking bar and, you know, squeezing the bartender's titties, shit like that. Like the little flasher guy. I almost I saw the Funko Pop the other day of the flasher gremlin. Like, you couldn't get away with that. So,
no.
I don't know. I think it would be good to see it rebooted if it was done right. But I don't know. That's a tough question, though, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, something like 28 Days Later that still, you know, I think Steven and I both agree that if that movie was shot on a like current camera technology and using some of the special effects that are out now as opposed to, 19 years ago, 18 years ago, I think it would be a much, much better reboot than something like Gremlins, where there'd be a lot of, you know, new age CGI and stuff like that.
Yeah, and that's the only thing that I'd be worried about with 28 Days Later if they wanted to CGI the fucking zombies.
Yeah.
Or the infected.
No, you got to make those real people.
Yeah, 100%. But like reboots for me, it's a sore fucking subject. They're killing Jurassic Park. They're fucking Star Wars to tears. They killed Indiana Jones. I'm not a fan of remakes and reboots. Like,
well,
just overall.
Unpopular opinion. Star Wars sucks. Anyway,
It doesn't, and we'll be discussing that in May. May the 4th.
Oh,
Dude, there's 9 episodes to go through.
dude, I think I'm gonna get coronavirus in May. Fuck.
Maybe get some of that Dos Equis virus.
Yeah, exactly. But I think that does it for this week.
That's it.
You satisfied with where we're at?
I think so. I mean, that's probably the most. Well, we disagreed on Joker, but we didn't disagree as much as we disagree on this one.
Yeah, I don't think
You thought the Joker was great. I thought it was good. I think this one's really good, and you think it's trash. So, and I kind of thought you'd like this one. So, oh well.
Well, you can't win them all.
Can't win them all. Next week we'll be doing Dark Waters.
Okay.
And maybe a second. Well, we can do your update to Jojo Rabbit.
Okay. Yeah.
That'll give us enough. Dark Waters is a new release. It's got Mark Ruffalo in it, and it's based on a true story about the lawyer that took on DuPont for some very, very shady stuff that they were doing. So
yeah.
It's a pretty great movie. If you like conspiracy theories and stuff like that, it's really good movie. So go ahead and check that out and be ready for next week.
Dark Waters, that's on Netflix, Amazon.
Dark Waters, I don't know if it's streaming anywhere, to be honest. It may be one that you have to either figure out a way to watch or you can rent it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it's because it's a new release. So, but it's on Google Play Movies, Vudu, all that stuff. So it's available to rent, or if you have other means to watch movies.
Yeah, new release.
Yeah,
Redbox.
Exactly.
Yeah,
but it's definitely. I'll go ahead and say this: you need to watch it. Stan.
It says Sweet Pits.
Heavy. Turn down your monitors.
I turned them down. We should be better now. I don't know what the hell is going on. But all right, that's it. And for anybody interested, I know tomorrow night is ST show. After ST show, I'm going to premiere the video for this. So be on the watch out for that. We will. I guess we'll see you next week, right here with some Dark Waters and a little bit more Jojo Rabbit talk.
Jojo Rabbit.
All right, so that's it. We'll see you next week. Peace.
Later, guys.
What the fuck?
What happened?